So along the way of me getting signed off, I ended up me and another guy got laid off from our job,
Okay.
and I decided, okay, I got tired of dealing with a lot of the layoffs. So I mean, and a lot of the times it wasn't me. It was I know I'm a good electrician. I know I give good work. It
Yeah.
just I I ain't the man they're choosing,
Yeah.
and I was like, well, it's time for me to go get my license. I just got tired of getting mad, and having to move on. I'm ready to
Yeah.
stay with one company and grow and let everybody know who Ruben Corona is. And
Yep. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Young Electrician Podcast. My name is Ruben Young, aka the Young Electrician. Here on this podcast, we like to see electricians grow, not just in the field, but also in their personal lives. We believe that your work life and your personal life shouldn't compete against each other, but they should complement each other. With that said, today I have the privilege of interviewing a very new C-10 licensed contractor, Ruben Corona. Stole my name, bro. What's up? How's it going?
I'm doing great. How are you doing this morning?
Pretty good, man. I'm tired, but I got some coffee, so I'm doing well.
I got
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna
Red
I'm
Bull
gonna
going
make
on
it.
as well.
All right, so Ruben he just passed his test. So I'm gonna interview him, talk about his life, how he got into electrical, and what led him to being a C-10 contractor. And hopefully in that we could kind of see the road you took in getting certified. You're studying what you studied, what programs you did, what material you went over, what the process was like, because I want people to hear this and not just be encouraged by your story, but also get some valuable information on becoming a C-10 contractor. So, is there anything you want to say before we hop into this?
I just a quick introduction of myself. Ruben Corona, coming out of Tulare County, which is central part of California. I'm first generation electrician in my family and first generation contractor as well. Pretty excited about the opportunity and excited to share my experience with you guys and hope, it encourages other people to go and get their C-10 contractor license or journeyman as well, because that's what's next for me.
Oh, nice. Wow, dude, you went backwards, huh? I like that.
Yeah.
I know a
Trying
couple people
trying
doing
something
that.
different.
Do a big dog. You know, with the C-10, you don't need your journeyman to work for yourself, so you're good.
I've heard that a lot, but I just want to be one to say I have it. I
Yeah,
want to be able to say I have it, and I know I could get it, so that's definitely the next one to go get.
study your butt off for that one, dude. I know you told me when we were talking before you overstudied for this. Overstudy for the journeyman.
Yeah, I liked how you responded. You never overstudy.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
no
better
such
to
thing.
be. It's better to know more than to have that less knowledge in your head, and you go back and say, why didn't I have it?
Yeah. When I my first time taking the journeyman test, I failed. I did not overstudy. And you know, it sucked. I wish I would have overstudied, just over prepared myself. But all right, Ruben. So let's hop right in. I'm going to ask you the first question. How did you get involved with electrical, and how old were you?
So it started when it was, I would say, a couple years after high school.
Okay.
I was working at El Pollo Loco, and I met a buddy, and that buddy, we hung out at his house and had a couple beers. Um, he ended up introducing me to his grandpa. So I met his grandpa, and his name was Mike. He was an electrician out of Delano Prison. He was actually the one that runs the electrician side there. And he started talking to me, and he just started showing me his property. Next thing you know, we go to his shop, and he shows me this big residential demo room. I was like, whoa, what is this? And
Yeah.
I mean, not knowing electrical, you're gonna have a lot of questions, and right away I started asking questions, and he's like, you want to give it a try? I do it every week on Fridays, and I do it in the afternoons. I was like, I don't mind. Let's see what it's about.
Okay.
And so I gave it a try, and I liked it. I wish I would have kept going. For some reason, well, I was also involved in sports and all that after I had graduated. So I was doing some of the sports as well, where I would travel and it would cause me not to be in my area.
Yeah.
because we would do big adult league tournaments.
What were you doing? And was that like for a school or for a
No, it
community,
wasn't for
like
school. It was just
city?
for fun. It
City?
was
Okay.
just to enjoy it. I mean, I was an athlete in high school, so I didn't have the best grades to follow my college career path. So
Okay.
I just here and there I would play adult league every now and then with the guys. So enjoy stuff like that. On top of that, it would open up doors where we could travel to Vegas and
Oh, nice.
they would play big tournaments out there and win some big money for everybody to have fun.
What sport did you play?
It was football.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it
Because
was,
somebody would have messaged me and be like, "What the heck sport did he play?"
it
You
was
left me
it,
in
it was
suspense.
football. It was flag football, but I got to tell everybody that kind of flag football was like tackle football. It was real physical, and,
Oh,
and even if you had flags on your waist, you were still going to get laid out.
yeah. Nice.
It was cool, but I enjoyed that, and I mean that was kind of the reason why I wasn't able to continue. On top of that, I had my head to becoming a mechanic, so
Okay.
I attended UTI in Sacramento, and I didn't really like it. I realized being a mechanic wasn't for me. On the mechanic side, I wanted something more. I would say more technical. And
Yeah.
as soon as I got into, the electrical, it was service technician. And
Okay.
I became a service technician for a company in Sacramento. When I did that, I was able to travel the U.S. as a service technician, and I would
Oh,
go
wow.
to big companies like Frito Lay. I would go to Domino Sugar in Louisiana. I would go to Twin Rivers Chicken in Arkansas. I was at big seminars in Las Vegas for 2, 3 weeks in a row under company time. So I
Yeah.
got to experience a lot of that, and that was fun. It
That's
was coming
cool.
from from Tulare County, where you come from small areas and you don't see a lot of that. So, for me to see that,
Yeah.
it's like, wow, the world is out there. Okay, let's go get it. And I ended up moving back to the valley. Along the way, I was farming out here. I was an irrigator for a different.
Okay.
I was pretty much working for different dairies, but irrigating all their farms for the feed. And,
Yep.
along the way, I mean, it was the way to make a living. And especially when you got kids, you got to feed, and you happy wife, happy life. And I,
How old were you when you got married? Or you
I
got
well, I
kids?
got married 4 years ago, but I recently we've been together for 7. So
Okay.
yeah,
Did you already have kids when you were younger? Or
no,
no? Okay.
I got together. My first kid came when I got together with my wife. I
Oh, cool.
I was kidless throughout high school, so I got to enjoy my high school years of
It's a good way to graduate high school.
yes, being an athlete, doing all the grad night, prom. I did all that. If for
Awesome.
all the young ones that are in their senior year, enjoy it while you have it.
Yeah, don't have kids until you're married.
Exactly.
There you go.
But I ended up getting into the field again. I applied. I told my wife I want to get back into whether it's being a field service technician or electrician out here in the valley. And a controls company gave me a call. It was a little before my birthday on 2019,
Hmm.
and I had the interview on my birthday. Took the interview on my birthday, and he told me if I wanted the job. I was
Yeah.
pretty stunned because I knew I was going to learn a lot, and I just didn't know exactly what I was going to do. I knew it was
Yeah.
going to be real technical too, and I knew I was going to have to hit the books. So I kind of was going with the flow, and you know I realized there was a big future in that.
Yeah.
Well, I COVID came around and I got COVID. He had a newborn, and we did not know what to do with COVID protocols. So
Yep.
he went and told me, I'll support you, in the future after COVID, you know, I'll bring you back if you ever wanted to. He's all, but right now is not the time. He's I don't know what to do with this COVID stuff, so I have to support you on unemployment. And I was like, okay, well, I didn't let my unemployment kick in because as soon as I got that layoff, I got better with COVID right away, and
Yep.
I went and started working. Well, my first check didn't come in from unemployment. My first check
Mm,
for my new job came in before the unemployment check came in for the time that I was off.
nice.
So I was pretty happy about that. I was like, okay, let's start working again. Well, I ended up getting that other job, and from there I was building panels for a controls company, and I was building
Nice.
a lot of soft starts and a lot of bypass panels, VFD panels, and we did that for a couple months. After that, I wanted to move on to something different in the trade, so I moved on to another company.
Nice.
That other company is where I got a lot of my underground experience. I got a lot of my machinery experience, excavating, knowing how to use a whacker packer, knowing
Yep.
how low, the minimum depth of PVC should go for, your grades and
Nice.
radiuses, knowing how to read plans, understanding them as well, and also communicating with Edison or PG&E, whoever you're around.
Good to know.
Yeah, it's all good. It
Yep.
was all good to know. So I was just eating the knowledge. Uh, I realized I was at the max of what I could do before I was just going to get the repetitive thing over and over again. I wasn't
Mm.
going to see any more than what I was seeing there. So from there, I wanted to move on and started becoming a better bender. I worked with another company, and there I got a lot of industrial. Prior, I was getting industrial, but it was more dairy industrial.
Mm.
So this was more industrial, food grade industrial.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of rigid, started bending a lot of rigid, and did some stainless, a lot of cutting and threading. So as soon as I got a lot of that in my head, I was like, okay, I want to get into the technical side. I realized if you know motor controls and you know some PLCs, you start separating yourself from a lot of the crews.
Yep.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna open the books more. I'm gonna read more on stuff like this because I realize in the trade, if you want to separate yourself, it has to be this way. It can't be,
Yeah.
by you saying it's more you showing what you know,
Yeah.
and that's kind of how I've always kept my motto with learning the trade, and I've always learned to be the student. Never act like you know everything.
Yeah.
Always learn from the guys around you, even if it's somebody that has less experience, but they have a different way of doing it. Maybe
Oh
that
yeah.
one's a little quicker, but it don't hurt to know that way either.
Heck yeah.
I'm that type of person where it's it's not just my way or the highway. Oh no, it's I don't I feel like when you do your way or the highway, it never goes good.
Yeah. Your way sucks a lot of times,
Yeah,
and
you
we
always
just don't
got
know it.
employees.
We don't know it yet.
Yeah, you always got employees that are mad, or people are not always happy. And
Yeah.
I just started chasing it from there. In the middle of all that, I also 2019 something told me to enroll into school. Uh,
Okay.
COS has a electrical program, and they follow ABC out of Bakersfield, and they follow
Okay.
all that NCCER curriculum. And the instructor out of COS in Tulare, Shane Baseman, awesome instructor, awesome instructor. He's taught me a lot over the years, and he's even supportive too. And
That's awesome.
when it's you need a hand getting in the, getting your foot in the door for some work in the field, he was the one to give those students the hand, and that goes a long ways for a lot of people for sure.
Heck yeah.
I've seen him do that to a lot of students, and I just got to get a good relationship with him where now when I walk into class, he'll talk shit to me. He'll have
Heck
something to
yeah.
say.
That's funny.
But I
Are you
did
still
those
going to
four
school right
years.
now, or did you
Well,
finish all
I
your hours?
finished I finished already. I
Okay.
did those 4 years, and I ended up finishing in 2023.
Nice.
And I finished 2023. Along the way, I lost my mom. Um, I
Sorry to hear that.
I ended up I was going to school, and I how could I go about this? So she got sick on us randomly, and it was something that we didn't know, that it was coming this quick. We also didn't know it was as serious. We thought it was going to be just a regular cough,
Yeah.
and when she started getting serious, and we started seeing that my mom was going, I was middle of me going to school. I was like, man, how how do I keep going? You know,
Yeah.
how how do I keep my head up? And luckily, I had my wife, my kids, and my family around to help me keep going. And it was tough. It was tough
Uh,
because my mom see me start school to not have her see me finish school. It was it was something that I had to, you know, really man and say, hey, let's finish this. I'm not gonna let my just stop going and say I'm gonna come back to it later.
yeah,
Like I continued going. I didn't realize that it was gonna open these many doors that it didn't.
yeah.
I didn't think I was gonna get. Just been thankful
All right.
for the opportunity. Um,
You're kind of
I
freezing just a little bit there, just so you're aware.
is it
So
better?
yeah, so you were in school, and then sadly your mom passes,
Yeah,
and
I was in school. My mom passed away. You know, I fought through it. Ended up graduating, or not graduating, but finishing my program, and
yeah,
I got done with that. Didn't realize how much doors it was going to open. I was pretty stunned when I realized that I had an opportunity to get signed off and become a contractor. I was like, okay,
yeah.
that's sounds more realistic than the journeyman side because the DIR is taking their sweet time. I
Oh
was like,
wow. So did you
I
sign up for both of them at the same time, or how did
no,
that?
but I have a buddy that did, and oh man, they one of them hasn't heard back at all.
Yeah, I don't know if you follow Sergio Cortez.
I
Did you
do. I
see that
actually
letter
been seeing that
they
too.
just sent? They just sent that. Yeah,
It's
my
like,
buddy sent his off in January, and he still hasn't received anything.
wow, January? Yeah, that's crazy. January's pretty long.
Look, so
Pretty
yeah,
hot.
if you're gonna take your journeyman test, pass the first time because you don't know when you're gonna get your second one. You just you don't know.
Ended up having that opportunity, so I ran with it, and I was like, well, let's see what it does. You know, let's see how fast I could get my contract. I honestly thought it was going to take me over a year. I was like,
All
okay,
right, so walk us through that process, dude. So you get enough hours to get your contracting license, which is what, like 4 or 5 years?
that's 4 years,
4 years? All right, cool.
8,000 hours.
And so you do that, and what's the whole process? When did you start it? What did you do? Like,
So I
did you go through?
graduated in 2023 December from, or not graduated, but I finished my apprenticeship program with
All right,
COS under ABC.
okay,
And I got done with that. Right away, I started seeing what options I needed to do. What was my next step for this, career path? And
yeah,
I was like, it's either going to become a journeyman or start chasing my contractor. I have a brother that is a general B contractor in San Luis Obispo County,
oh,
so
nice,
it actually it motivates me and I'm able to see a big picture in the future with C-10 with
yeah.
him doing the general B in the coast, and I ended up just hammering down, and I was like, okay, let me search up what requirements for both. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, to become a contractor, one of the requirements you could get a 1 year write off from your job and get 3 years transcripts from the school. I fell in that category, so I was able to do exactly that. Sent it to the state. I got approved. Before
So
that, though, I'm gonna take it to where so I called my brother. I'm like, hey, I have an opportunity to get signed off. I I don't know if I'm gonna do that or do the journeyman first. I think I'm gonna do the journeyman. I told him, and he's like, he started talking to me about the contracting and asking me, did I see myself doing that? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, if you're gonna do it, you should do it now, or you're probably never gonna do it. And I was like, well,
yeah,
that's kind of true right there. That's a true saying right there for a lot of people. Where if you ain't gonna do something now, you're probably never gonna come back to it and want to do it later.
yeah.
I went in. I said, okay. Told myself, well, let's go get it. I have the sign off and I have my transcripts. Let's go meet contractor school. So I ended up telling my brother, give me your resources that you had when you started your general B. He sent me to a guy named Kerry out of San Luis Obispo. He does
Right.
contracting school as well, and awesome dude.
What's his school?
It's Kerry contract. Carrie's contracting school right there in San Luis Obispo.
Okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
it was pretty exciting, I would say. Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna come that fast. So
What
doing
did
the
the school
classes.
what did the school look like? Like, was it in class? Was it
It wasn't
online?
really a schooling. It was more of he's gonna help you with paperwork and help you get ready.
Okay.
He'll give you the material, but he ain't gonna show you how to study. It was your job to learn.
So he
So as
gives you
soon as
some,
what was
oh,
that?
sorry. He gives you physical material and you go and you study that?
You
Okay,
get
cool.
the physical and you get the online. You
I'll
get
let
both.
I'll let you finish and then hop back in and share a little bit about that when you
Okay. Yeah. So he gives you both. He gives you the book and he gives you the online.
Okay.
I was able to run with both. I when I started, I mean, before I even got the material, we were still in the
Yeah.
middle of getting signed off, and I was still thinking, am I gonna get accepted? You know, are they gonna
Oh,
are,
yeah.
are they gonna accept me? That was right away. That's one of the first things you should think. Are you gonna get accepted?
Yeah. I
Uh,
think they audit 3% of the applications that come in.
yeah,
So they actually, I don't think they view most of they like look to see if you have hours and that's it. But to do their due diligence to audit it, they do
right.
like 3%. So yeah, if you're a part of that 3%, you might, yeah, you might not make it.
I mean, even if I would have got audited, I feel like I would have still got accepted. I
Yeah,
I wasn't really doing any loopholes in there. I was following what they were asking for, and I
yeah,
had everything to back myself up.
that's awesome.
It was just one of those things that's nerve wracking, you know, and waiting to get that date of, hey, you got accepted for your tests, you know,
Oh yeah,
to start taking your tests, and that was pretty nerve wracking as well. But
heck yeah.
when it came to actually walking up and saying I'm gonna go take my test, oh man, their nerves really wrecked there and then.
Oh heck yeah, man, dude. When you messaged me, so for those of you who obviously don't know, Ruben messaged me and asked me about the you asked me about the solar, right? Like what solar questions are on the thing.
I
And I
did.
was like, oh cool. This guy's preparing to go to do a C-10 license. So I was like, okay. So I shared whatever little bit of knowledge I knew about that. And I was like, when's your test date? And you were like, oh, tomorrow. And I was like, I told my wife, I was like, hey, this guy just hit me up with a question. Like I don't know if he's just studying right now, but there's his test tomorrow. My wife was like, oh, that's not good. I was like, oh, that's not good. And then later I found out that you were well more prepared. You were just over preparing with that
That's pretty
question.
much what it was. I felt like I was getting ready for the journeyman test. I mean, I was
Yeah. You
doing a lot
scared
of
me though. I'm gonna say
calculations.
that. You scared me. I was like, now's not the time to ask about questions. You should be sleeping, dude. Your test is tomorrow.
I was more just wanting to make sure I had it already there. You know, it's
Yeah.
just one of those things you want to make sure you have it there. And I didn't know what formulas we were going to use, but in all honesty, you don't use much formulas minus the
Well, okay,
Ohm's law
so
and the Watt's law. I didn't even have to use voltage drop.
okay. What I shared with you was any of that actually on that thing? Because when I took
So
the
it
test, they
was
asked me.
the
Okay.
battery systems information that you had shared with me that did help out in the test.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because I didn't do too much reading on battery systems because I didn't think there was going to be much of it there.
It
But
was on the material I went through
yeah,
studying. It was on there, and I was like, all right. I mean, I don't do solar, so I don't really care about the batteries right now. So yeah, so I learned a lot of that when I was taking the class.
yeah,
But
it
all
was
right, cool.
something that I was pretty happy that I it was you, Mick, Spartan Hero, and KV Electrical that were actually I had reached out with questions, and
Oh heck yeah!
I appreciate all you guys for responding to me, and
Thank
thank you
you for
guys
giving me the easy question. Oh heck yeah!
But yeah, I ended up along the way. I did my process there, passed both tests. I didn't want to take both tests in one day because I mean everybody takes tests differently. I had already a lot going on in my regular life.
Yeah.
Uh, to add two tests in a day and have to study double for those two tests in one day, I felt like I just didn't want to do that to myself.
Oh yeah.
I was like, well, I'll do a test. I'll do a week apart from taking each test. I'll
Nice.
do my first test, and then the following week I'll do the next test.
Yeah.
And I did that, and for the ones out there that are going to do follow, the contracting career path, I I recommend if you feel like test is overwhelming you, just do one a day,
Heck
and
yeah.
you see the difference.
You have plenty of time on each test too. How long did it take you to pass?
Honestly, I took about an hour and a half on each test. I did
Yeah,
the
dude, me
business one a
too.
little quicker. I think did the business one in about an hour and 10 minutes.
Oh, a businessman, huh?
Yeah,
No.
I did that one pretty quick. I knew a lot of stuff because I was a manager when I was younger at restaurants. So
Oh,
there was a lot
cool.
of stuff that I knew already inside the book that when I was studying, I'm like, hey, I know that already. I've seen that a lot of times.
I knew none of that, dude. I was like, I don't know any of this. I screw on light bulbs for a living. That's it. Um, but no, that's cool. Yeah. So I think a lot of people, that's something that's kind of relieving to know is, and I probably should have shared that with you too. When I took the test, it was about an hour and a half each test as well. And you have 4 hours for the test, right? I think it's 4 hours.
This one was they shortened it now. It was like 2 hours and 30 minutes, I think, or 2 hours
What,
and
serious?
yeah.
It's still way too much time. 2 hours and 30 minutes.
It wasn't no 4 hours though.
If you take the test, I remember I took it and then I always, you go over the test after you finish.
Right.
I went over both the tests like 3 times, right? Just to be sure. And then I looked at the clock because when you take the journeyman exam, it ain't the same, dude. You got about 3 minutes a question.
I
So
heard you're asking for more time sometimes.
if you were so okay, so here's a hint. If English is your second language, apparently they give you an extra hour and a half. So just throw that out there.
They
For
give you
anybody
an
that wants,
extra hour and a half.
yeah.
I
Or if
also
you
heard if you have a reading, uh,
yeah,
I wouldn't say a disorder, but like if it's hard for you to read
yeah,
a lot of information, you could get somewhat of a doctor's note. And
yeah.
I heard that doctor's note, they give you more time on the test. I think it's like an hour more or something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So, so if you went to school in Los Angeles like I did, and you can't read that good, I don't but the thing to know though, and this is for you and for anybody listening, and if you really get nervous or you really have a hard time reading, or if you have one of those things that are stopping you, yeah, take that time. But if you don't, if you have, if you can read pretty well, right, and if you can comprehend the questions, if you don't have any issues, you don't need that extra time. I finished the test in almost 3 hours. So I had like a little more than an hour
Oh,
left. So the thing, if you know how to navigate the code book properly, and if you understand these equations, right,
right.
you're gonna pass in 2.5 to 3 hours. That's it. You're gonna pass it to because you know the answer. You could flip through the books, you can find
Exactly.
the answers, you could do the equations really. I mean, the equations took me less than a minute to do. I mean, what, 30 seconds to just plug the numbers in because I already knew how to do them. So I finished in 3 hours and I had an entire or more than an hour left. And I went over all the information again, right? Checked it, and I found answers that what I did was the first time through, I went through, answered every single question, and I didn't just mark the questions I didn't know. I marked the questions I wasn't sure of, because I
Oh,
want to go over those again. Yeah.
right. You know that was going to take you some time.
So, and then the second time I went over it again and I answered all those questions except for like one or two. I couldn't find them. But I was like, dude, if I answered, 98 questions right, or even 90, 80 questions right, I passed. It's like a 70, 75, whatever to
Yeah,
pass. So I
you
was like,
pretty much have your
I'm good.
license.
So yeah, I used that entire hour to just go over everything. But with the C-10, after I did that, I was like, dude, I'm not sitting here. I'm not sitting here for 2 more hours, dude. If I fail, I failed. I'm gone.
Hey,
These are the answers I think.
I was the same way on there. I was like, well,
Yeah,
let me go see if the lady is going to say I passed or give me my paper. And it says pass on
yeah. Heck yeah, man. So what did your studying process, what did it look like for you studying? Your study time that you dedicated, what did that look like?
So the studying, that was pretty. I mean, at that time, I also wasn't working. I just went back to work recently.
Okay.
I decided I so along the way of me getting signed off, I ended up me and another guy got laid off from our job,
Okay.
and I decided, okay, I got tired of dealing with a lot of the layoffs. So I mean, and a lot of the times it wasn't me. It was I know I'm a good electrician. I know I give good work. It
Yeah.
just I I ain't the man they're choosing, and
Yeah.
and I was like, well. it's time for me to go get my license. I just got tired of getting mad, and having to move on. I'm ready to
Yeah.
stay with one company and grow and let everybody know who Ruben Corona is. And
Yep.
I was like, okay, well, let's let's go become my own boss. That's what gave me my mentality there. I also I felt like I had a doubter, which was my old foreman, and I felt like it was something that was motivating me more. And
Mm,
when you have doubts and somebody tries to tell you you have no wisdom in the trade, it's like, okay, I have more knowledge and wisdom than and I
yeah.
I also have more education than you do. If anything, you got to catch up. And I was
Heck
like,
yeah.
okay. I got real angry about it, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna approach this by being a better electrician. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
be a better whether it's a pipe runner or whether it's a service technician, just a better human being in the trade.
Yeah.
I want to be able to navigate the book without having to say I'm going to go to the index. That's
Yeah.
another mentality I have in my head, and I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
I tell myself eventually, everybody starts somewhere, and it's where what you do with it, and how big you get with it. And
Yeah.
I've always kept myself going and wanting to, do more, and be a better electrician in the trade. I mean, I see a lot of room to grow because electrical is the future. Uh, there's a lot of things that are nowadays. It's all electrical. You got cars
Yeah.
electrical. You got robotic systems. All those are electrical systems. You know,
Nothing runs without electricity, man.
exactly. And I
Unless you're
really
some weirdo with some steam powered stuff in your backyard.
yes. And the more you know, the better it gets. And
Yeah.
I I ended up getting signed off. Like I said, I'll shout him out, Zach Brown. He signed me off, and I got a lot of love for that guy. He definitely opened a lot of doors, and I even thanked him after I passed my test, and
Yeah.
just reached out to him again. Thank you for the opportunity of opening this door for me, and giving me this path to walk through of being my own contractor now. I was like, I
Yeah.
I could have did it with probably without a write off. From what it looks like, I keep hearing it's hard. I don't know, but
Yeah.
right away I was like, well, you at least give me a year write off, and I'll use 3 years transcripts, and I ended up getting my write off from him, and from
That's
there,
awesome.
that's when the state accepted it, and I was just like so stunned by it, and I just ran with my opportunity. I started studying. I was studying. I mean, after my layoff, I was like, I'm going to collect unemployment. I'm going to study for this time of being, and let's see if I
Heck
can
yeah.
pass my test in 3 months. Because you have, I want to say it's 90 days, or I think it's 90 days for the online to before it expires, and you have to repay for it
For your schooling?
for the schooling for you to have
What
for
what
you to
what
see the
online
online.
program was it?
It
Was
was
it his personal one or was it
no, it was the one with the state, the common one that everybody gets.
well, I don't even know what that is. Is that
It
there's
was
one that
let me
belongs
see.
to the state?
I'm gonna show you the. I have it here.
Because I heard that from somebody else and I was like, I don't like what are you talking what are you talking about?
So this is the C-10 contractor book,
And that's from the state?
and this is from the state. It says contractor state license.
How much does that cost? Is that like literally from the
Now
state or
all the material in total to get everything started. I want to say I paid 800.
and they have an online whatever for that too?
He has the paper book, and he gives you the online material as well. And you pretty much it's your job to teach yourself how to navigate it, around everything, and
Okay.
find a studying way. But
Oh,
along
that's
the
cool.
way, I just kept studying. I would have Nick. He would send me some stuff here and there that I would open up as well, and it was helpful. And
Nice.
it just the structured way of studying a lot of the different things, and
Nice.
I just kept hammering down. I also let me show you guys. Started doing flashcards.
Oh, nice.
I have a lot of flashcards here. I also
I've got a lot of flashcards.
yeah, I have more here. I have one packets that haven't been opened that are going to be open pretty soon. I'm in the middle of shout out to electricaltime.com, Steve. He's the one who told me start using some flashcards and
Nice.
start seeing what that does. Well, I did that and it's made a big difference for me. Definitely
Yeah,
has.
Steve is legit, man. I like his
Yes,
stuff.
he is. I actually I'm in his class once a week,
Oh,
and
serious? Yeah.
yeah, I'm in his class. That's who I did my interview with, and I I've been enjoying it. I've been learning more of the code book than what I knew in the past. And I've been
That is
thankful
awesome.
for that. I plan on really sticking with his class and growing around that book for sure.
Just makes you a better electrician, man. That's
It
awesome.
does.
Yeah,
I even want to
I'll
take
probably join as
Like
well.
Sergio. I want to do Sergio's method once. I want to see. I'm a guy of let me try everything and let's see how it is. I mean, there's
Yeah.
knowledge everywhere. Everybody has their own method, and I'm looking forward for the day when I give his little little method a try as
The
well.
surge
Yeah,
method.
the surge method. I want to see what that's about.
I'm gonna he's teaching it at the growth convention, so I'm just gonna go there and learn it.
Yeah, I did
Um,
see that. I'm trying to get a ticket for at least a day. I mean, money's been
I'm
tight,
going for one day.
so in the middle of getting all this contracting and me barely getting back to work, I'm in the middle of catching up on my bills. So
No,
I
no, you're good, bro. It's
I I told I think who was Steve. I told Steve, I want to try to win a ticket out there if I can because would be willing to go and willing to pay for my own gas for the day, and it would just be a
oh
go.
yeah.
I'll show up, enjoy the day, and come back home.
So if anybody wants to put money towards our GoFundMe to get us both to the growth convention,
that, that would be nice.
some
Both
rich
Ruben.
donor out there, some kind soul. I know one of you guys are on a prevailing wage job. You guys want to shoot us some? No, just play. But yeah, I'm like, dude, like, I kind of want to go because there are going to be some cool people there. I want to make some connections, especially some
Gonna
other
be there's
contractors.
gonna be
And
a lot of people. I mean, Will's a cool dude, and Anthony too. Anthony as well. Nick, I want to meet Nick in person. There's a lot of guys I want to meet in person out there they're just cool on social media, and
yeah.
you yourself too. I've been watching you on your YouTube before you came out on Instagram, and
Oh, are you
I
serious?
yeah, I was watching you whenever you had
Oh,
just passed your test, and
oh
I
yeah.
I was already watching you. So whenever I seen you on Instagram, I'm like, that's cool. He came out on Instagram now too.
I appreciate that. Yeah, dude, I gotta after it took so long for my C-10, I just stopped doing going to YouTube. I didn't do the YouTube for like I don't know, like
I was
quite a few
wondering what's
months.
going on.
And then I went back on because I literally didn't log on anything. And then I went back on and it was like, I don't know, like it went from like 30 people that were watching it to like almost 100. And then I seen some like comments on the videos of like, oh, somebody actually cares about this. So I was like, okay.
You're like, I'm gonna keep it up.
And then that's when I was like, YouTube's kind of hard because I don't know, you got to put videos together and
A lot of editing.
so it's yeah, it's a little more difficult. So then I was thinking about it. And I was like, I'm just gonna go. My wife was like, why don't you just do Instagram? I was like, I don't even understand Instagram. I don't know why people go on Instagram. And then I started Instagram a little bit, and then I was like, I just want to share information. That's it. What's the easiest way? And then I was like, screw it, I'm doing a podcast. So just like I'm just gonna do a podcast because I want to share. That's it. I want to give information. I don't
Right.
know videos. All right. Um, but yeah, dude, that's cool, man.
Yeah,
And
I
oh,
also
geez.
I plan on getting into government work. I do want to get into that kind of style of work as well. So I
Sergio has information on that too. He was sharing off
I,
camera with me some stuff. So
I
hit him up.
actually seen I don't know if it seems legit, but that Easy Biz,
Easy bid. That sounds familiar.
Easy Biz, where she kind of shows you how you properly bid on government work, and you could kind of
Oh, dude, I'm gonna check that out. I don't know who that is.
win bids and stuff like that. I just found them on Instagram. I started watching the videos. So I'm just trying to see more information. So I mean, once we start seeing it's legit, we start running with it.
Heck yeah, make
But
that. I'm down with that. Dude. I'll go do a government job.
I do want to see the government side too because I there's a lot of work out there for sure, both government
Heck
and
yeah.
non-government.
Heck yeah. So back to your studying. You were just studying your butt off, right? Your full-time job was studying at the time.
Yes, it was studying, worrying about the family at home, and studying. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was also doing side jobs here and there.
that's good.
I was able to pick up some EMT work at a restaurant, and
Nice.
we did just ran plugs, different locations for them, and I was able to get that going at the same time of me studying. I realized once I realized that I was able to do both, I'm like, well, I'm gonna go back to work.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I told myself that. So at the same time, I had just passed my C-10, the trade side, which was about 2 weeks ago, and
Nice.
like I'm gonna go ahead and go get back out there. So I ended up getting back out there. I told my boss that I'm chasing my C-10, and I think everybody should communicate it with who their bosses are, because at the end of the day, it's good communication. You know,
Yeah.
it don't he keeps that relationship solid. Like I told him, I don't want to ruin our relationship. That I like that we have a solid relationship, and I because I'm getting ready to go into business myself, I don't want him to hate me or me hate him.
Yeah.
I want you to know, when I'm working here, all my work is 100%. I'm both foot in. I'm not one foot in or one foot out. You know,
Yeah.
anytime you do electrical work, no matter who it's for, it has your name on it. You're the
Yeah.
you're the one that touched it last, so it better look good. And
Yeah.
I've always kept that mentality. And I told him too. I also told him he wants to sign a contract so he could feel comfortable, not worried about me taking any of his customers. I'm like, I'm fine with that too. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do anything like that. I'm like, I just so you feel comfortable. I was like, if you want to do that, he said, yeah. So got that coming up pretty soon, about a week or
You
two.
said yeah? Oh.
Yeah, he said, yeah. So
Don't touch me. Well, yeah, you know, a lot of actually contractors do. I don't know if you listen to 360 Electrician or
I do here and there. I do listen to him too.
his stuff actually really encouraged me along the route of getting the C-10 because I didn't have anybody I was like talking to or getting information besides the school I was going to. And a lot of the guys I was talking to were also just going through the process of getting the C-10 as well. So stumbling upon his videos really just pumped me up because he kind of just he made it seem possible to do the
He,
contracting side of it, you know?
he actually has a certain yeah, I just seen this, that he has a like a class where he teaches you how to estimate and bid work.
Yeah, that's
I
actually cool.
like that. I really like
I'll,
that.
I'll I want to get he has like a paperwork thing where you can get his paperwork for like signing your contracts and stuff.
Yeah.
So and like kind of I don't know what are they called? The stipulations and stuff. I don't know what they're called.
Oh, that what's inside the paperwork, so they all know that.
Yeah. So when you're signing a contract or an agreement with somebody, it's like he gives you what he gives people. So that's pretty cool. I'm probably gonna get that. Are you familiar with the electrical code coach?
I just followed him recently as well.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
that
I
guy's
just
a
started
legend.
following him recently.
That guy's a legend right there, dude. He has a free estimating course on YouTube. It's a 6-part course, and I think the first two episodes are on the mentality. You know, because a lot of people, it's a mentality thing.
It is.
You don't want to charge a certain price, right? You've
Yeah.
probably been there
It's
because
more
you
of
don't
a
feel like you're worth
percentage.
it, right? You
Right.
don't feel like you're worth it, or you don't feel like they're gonna pay. And there's all these mental blocks. So I think like the first one or the first two, he works on the mindset of why you should charge a certain price, why you shouldn't be the low guy. And then for the rest of them, he just lays it out on how to bid jobs, how to, value find out what your value is and then bid jobs accordingly.
You said this is
And
on YouTube?
it's on YouTube, yeah.
I
Yeah,
have to
go to
look
his
at that.
thing.
I haven't seen that one. I have not
Yeah,
seen
it's
this.
flipping legend. That dude's a legend, man.
I definitely have to look at that.
All right, so back to whatever we were talking about before our tangent. The growth conference kind of put us on a tangent, I think, and we just kind of just veered off and started geeking out on this stuff. Um, so you took them a week apart. You're working for somebody else now, and you're going to sign a whatever to not steal his his jobs.
Clientele.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. A lot of companies actually have that in a clause in your agreement that for whatever their customer is, you're not going to do any work for them for a year. It'll be for 1 year out. You won't be able to do any work, for their client if you work for them. So
Yeah, I
that's
think it's gonna fall in something like that. It's gonna fall into like a 1 to 3 year, something like that. It should be somewhere around there.
yeah, that's cool, man. That's good. So
I'm excited. I'm definitely. I
you
plan on
just did
sticking
your
on the residential commercial. I plan on getting into industrial. That's where a lot of my experience is at.
okay.
I'm gonna wait patiently for that work to come. I have a brother that just got promoted to plant manager at a food or a juice plant.
Okay.
and it's a big juice plant. And I told him, help me get in there to get some work, even if it's just
Yeah.
25.
Here's my card.
That's the plan. So that's
Dude, your logo's dope too. I'm gonna throw that out there. I gotta throw it
thank
out
you.
there.
Appreciate it. I'm excited to share it when I do. I mean I have it as my photo page, but I to get it out there on hats and all that, I'm excited. I'm even gonna get stickers made.
Oh yeah, stickers are expensive, man.
So I
I wanted to
seen
get stickers for the podcast, and I looked at the prices, and I was like, ah, when I hit like a few hundred followers, I'll get some stickers. I'll get some stickers. You guys don't deserve stickers yet. But yeah, no, stickers are cool, man. So, man, I'm hoping you haven't heard anything back. You just finished everything, right? You just
Yeah, I did. I actually just got a letter. I got my letter Friday from the CSLB.
okay. What did the letter say?
That letter states, where is that? On that letter, it states my next steps. It
Okay.
tells me about my bond. It tells me if I'm going to go exempt or not for workman's compensation, which I am because I I plan on being a one man guy until I
Yeah.
start making enough money to get a workman's compensation. That's my goal. I pretty much want to save enough so I say, hey, I have that money put away for the workman's comp. Let's go get it now.
Heck yeah.
That's
That's yeah. uh, Even the insurance companies sometimes that I talk to, they recommend like, look, if you don't have anybody hired yet, don't get workers' comp until you're gonna hire somebody because it's
yeah.
just a waste of money.
That's exactly what my brother told me the same thing. He's like,
Yeah.
you're gonna do it by yourself. Don't go exempt for the meantime until you start seeing you need a hand. He's all
Yeah.
then okay, save up money for the workman's comp. And
Yeah.
then from there start using it.
Yeah. And so as you went as a sole proprietor?
Yes, I did. I went as sole proprietor, but I'm gonna switch it to a corp. I plan on switching to
Yeah.
corp in the future. I only did a sole proprietor because of a lot of the I would say insurance sites. Uh,
It's cheaper too, dude.
it is. It's
The
way
whole route.
cheaper. It's way
Yeah.
cheaper. I mean, like LLC, you have to get that $100,000 bond. That
Don't
adds
do an
on top
LLC,
of it.
dude.
I
Don't do
didn't.
an
I didn't.
LLC.
I didn't go LLC. I
1000%. So
was gonna go corp. Sole
yeah.
proprietor. My brother. Another thing I'll share is he fell into $30,000 not debt but a bill with the IRS where he's that's the reason why he's switching over to corp. And
Was he an LLC?
not an LLC. He's a sole proprietor.
Oh, he was a sole proprietor. He
Yes,
needs a
he
better
was.
tax guy. That's what he needs.
Yeah,
He
he
gets
he just
CPA on his.
he said he ended up falling into the $30,000 bill with them. So he
Yeah.
said he's just going to move over to a corporation and it's going to balance out not finances but the tax side better.
Yeah. Get himself a nice CPA too, man. Get a good.
That's definitely something. He also I don't know how true it is, but is general liability commercial insurance is that recommended right away or should I kind of you know wait a little bit before I get that right away?
I don't actually know. I don't just get the bond that they want you to do the
That's
things they
exactly what I
want
was
you to
gonna do.
do
Just
first. Just
I
do
was,
that.
yeah, I was gonna do exactly that.
Do that because that's going to cover you. What is that? 15, $20,000, something like that. I can't remember what it was, but
Yes,
I mean that's going to cover you for
25,000.
25,000,
Yeah,
whatever
it was
damages
25.
might happen. So I think you're good there, dude. I think you're good there. If there's any additional insurance you might want to get, you might want to talk to somebody who's probably been
I
contracting
do
for a
plan on
while.
getting it though. I do for sure. I want to get it. I mean,
Yeah.
the more insurance, the better you're covered, and
Heck yeah.
customers are more happy about that. So
That's what I was thinking too.
I plan on getting
Espe-
it for sure.
Especially if you're a sole proprietor and you want to, I mean, that's going to come out of your bank account if anything ever happens.
Yes,
That's going
exactly.
to be your house on the line. So the more insurance, especially there, the better.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the plan with that. I also sent out the check to the state, so I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I've been looking at my bank account, waiting to see that
Yeah.
check get cashed. That's that $200 initial fee after you pass your test.
Nice.
I also did my asbestos test. I did that
Okay.
online. I used all that information you shared. Thank you. And then
Got you, bro.
I did the exemption for the workman's comp. I was able to do that online, so
Yeah.
I took care of that as well. All I need to do is, which I'm doing it this week, is getting my bond.
Yep.
I'll be getting that on Wednesday, Thursday. I'll pretty much get the bond for the year.
And did you do the live scan?
Live scan, I did. I did that. Well, that I did.
A long time ago?
I did that during when did I do that? Before I took my test. They had me
That's
do the live
smart.
scan. Yeah.
That's smart, dude.
They
I
had me
waited till
do it.
after like an idiot.
Oh, you did yours after.
I
I
did, dude. Yeah, I did. I'm kind
I,
of lazy.
I did mine before I took the test. I want to say 2 weeks, 3 weeks before I took the test.
Yeah.
I got live scanned. Once I knew I was live scanned, that's what helped the system see me right away. I guess once they seen my fingerprint, it popped
I
it
think
on their system.
that might have been, I can't tell what made mine take so long, but it took, I mean, 9 months, dude. They barely like
Crazy.
sent the fee in. But what happened was I called them like 4 months in and I was like, hey, I haven't, received my license. Am I missing something? And then the lady was like, no, it seems like all the boxes are checked. I was like, all right. Wait, I was like, when do I pay the initial fee? And she says, oh, wait till the CSLB contacts you and then they'll give you the steps and you can pay it. In that letter, did they give you the steps to pay it?
In that letter, this last letter,
Yeah, the one you just said where they give you the next steps.
yes,
They give you
it tells you pay that $200 initial fee. That's actually the first thing it says. It says
pay us.
congratulations.
So yeah, I guess maybe I don't read stuff that well sometimes.
I'm the same way. I'm like, oh, there's too much reading on it.
So, but
All I
when I
know is I
called them
passed. I'm good.
and I asked them like, hey, how do I do that test? I got other things going on, right? I'm not whatever. I'm kind of lazy. So I called them and I asked them, and she says, no, just wait until they call to contact you and then pay the fee. And because she was like, oh, they have to like process some of your information first. She gave me some bogus information. And then, I've been waiting like 9 months. And then I just went into their office here in Norwalk, and the guy was super helpful. And he's like, dude, you haven't paid your fee yet. And I was like, they told me, to wait for the CSLB before I pay it. And he says, oh, yeah, we kind of make that mistake sometimes. That was like literally what he said. He's like, yeah, we kind of make that, we
That's
make that mistake a lot.
that's
And I was
crazy.
like, okay. And he's like, but on the bright side, they extended your date for, finishing your info. I was like, what would propel them to extend my date? You can do that, but you can't contact me to pay my fee. And so I sent it in 2 weeks ago, and they cashed it last week. So
Oh, they cashed last week,
last week, so
so
yep,
you should be getting yours within the next month.
yeah, it should be soon. So I don't know.
That's you should be right at the top of the stack
1 year later, man.
with dust collected on it.
Yep, they're like, finally, this idiot paid us. Yeah, I don't know. They suck. They suck.
That's funny. But yeah, I got to finish that. And I just started doing the business planning. I didn't get ahead and I didn't do business planning before because I felt like you kind of get ahead and you start counting your eggs before they hatch. And, I feel like that's not the way to go. You kind of got to keep yourself hungry and motivated. And this is one of the ways to do it. And
Yeah.
my brother kept telling me, get your logo going. And yeah, get your business plan going. And I'm like, I have it there ready to get going.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get going with it until I pass these tests. I'm like, that's getting ahead of myself, you know.
So what are some of the things you're gonna do? Let's say you get your C-10 license, right? Comes in the mail. What are some of the things you're gonna do?
So I plan on growing with it here in the valley. I want to
Yeah.
see what residential and commercial have to offer with it out here, as well as industrial and ag. But wherever the work comes, I'm going to take it. Um,
Nice.
I understand from new construction to remodel to even troubleshooting as well.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to go out there and let everybody know who I am and what I have to offer. And I'm excited to get out there and fix a lot of problems for a lot of customers. That I am
That's cool, man. That is
looking forward to
awesome.
that.
All right. So you were sharing earlier, some of the stuff when you were young, when we were talking before this. Did you want to share any of that stuff, or is
Yes,
that
I
something you
do.
wanted to share?
So before I started all my process, everybody has a nice, sweet childhood. Everybody enjoys their childhood, and I along the way for me, I had to deal with seizures, and
Hmm.
I had seizures for over 10 years, and I had a lot going on with it, in and out of the hospital randomly. Imagine waking up, 4 year old, 5 year old kid in the hospital with wires on your head and on your arms, waking up wondering what's going on. I would always wake up like that. It got to the point where towards the ending of it, I knew why I was in there.
Yeah.
I went through so many tests. I was taken out of school for so many months because they were doing tests that required me to carry a computer at all times. Um,
Wow.
I just I went through a lot, and not many know the 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 hard part of the life that some go through. And
Yeah.
I was able to go through that, and I luckily God gave me a second chance to life to be able to chase opportunities, and I have not looked back on any opportunity I have been given. I thank God I grew out of those seizures. I
Yeah.
was able to play tackle football. I was able to wrestle. I was also able to train some mixed martial arts. And
Nice.
I realized after so many blows to the head that I didn't have seizures anymore. And I was like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
Let's go enjoy life.
Yep.
I did, and I that's why I've always taken everything serious the way I do, is because I know there's kids out there that would love to be in the position I'm in, but they can't because they're sick. And I realize that even if you are sick in certain situations, you can still do it. And for the ones that want to try to do it in certain situations that they're in,
Yeah.
you can still do it. There's this trade has so much to offer, whether it's you working out in the field or you being an architect in the office. And
Mm.
it's it's just there's a lot of room to grow. And
Yeah.
I was thankful to have those second chances from God to be able to chase the career paths that I was going to do. I almost became a sheriff with the Tulare County Sheriffs, and
Mm.
I was doing that process. I along the way I also prayed to God. You choose the career path for me that you want me to do. You want me to work in. Only you know what career path I'm going to go to. And
Yeah.
I got my prayers answered. 2 weeks later, that's when I started following the electrical.
Nice.
Just never looked back. I never looked back, and I've always been thankful for where I'm at today. And you'll hear me say that a lot. That
Yeah.
I'm thankful because I am. I'm very thankful for being here today and having the second chance to life, of not being one of the kids that had certain things taken away. So now I
Yeah.
was able to chase my dreams. Yeah,
That's
just
awesome.
for the ones out there, I encourage you to go get it.
Heck yeah. So what is your word for somebody else that's looking to pursue a C-10 contracting license, probably a little discouraged, they lack information. What word do you have for them that, kind of help them out in the process?
I say you go get it, submit that application. Only you won't know until you submit it. What's the worst thing that the state's going to tell you? No. Well, you got another year to hammer down out in the field. And once you do that, you're going to get it for sure. But don't just discourage yourself and tell yourself, I'm not going to get it or I can't get it because of this or that. Only you don't know until you do it. And
Yeah.
as long as you follow that requirement and you fall in that category of requirements, you're going to be fine. You're going to be just fine, and you should get accepted for your tests.
Dude, that's awesome.
It comes to taking your
Very
test,
awesome.
stay motivated to get that test done, and get all that information in there, because like you said, Ruben, you can never overstudy. It's always
Yeah.
better to know more than less.
Yep. So dude, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I try to, one of the reasons I do this is try to encourage people, man, because I nobody really gave me information along the way. I'm pretty sure it was out there. Maybe, it's maybe me, maybe I'm hard headed, but I feel like I didn't have the information that I needed, the encouragement I needed to get certified, to get my C-10 license, to do any of these things, and a lot of our childhoods are hectic, or, without even realizing it, we carry this baggage from our past, and, we're wondering, like, why don't I have the motivation to get ahead? And in reality, we have
Right.
like a lot of stuff on our back that's just
Yeah.
undealt with.
Some of
And a
us
lot of
even
times,
come from like low income families where
yeah,
we never had all the money in the world. I fall in that category. And
and spending that $480 to take that test,
yeah,
I don't want to part from this money. Yeah,
it
we
just
got a lot of
you get
discouragements.
tired of of I mean, I wouldn't say the struggle anymore, because electrical pays my bills, and it, I love the trade. I tell everybody,
Yeah.
this trade, if you're willing to get better with it, you're going to make good money, and
Yep.
it's going to pay off more than just your bills. And it has done that for me. And I've been thankful for that, and I hope this encourages somebody out there to switch from being whether it's a painter, framer, you know, carpenter,
Yeah.
go become an electrician. You know, there's money to be made in the field, and I definitely feel like you can make more money in electrical side than, you know, another
Yeah.
area where you only have so much room to grow.
And getting dude, I honestly think like just about almost every journeyman should get a C-10 license.
I think so too.
Because like you were talking about earlier, getting laid off, man. I remember getting laid off before. It's very few times I got laid off, but the times that it has happened, it's been because one company put a lien on a project. So that day, no job, So I was like, okay. And it sucks having to go and look for work. I've never depended on unemployment, dude. That's not going to pay my bills, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
I did
I remember,
for the 2.5 months, and let me tell you, it sucked.
yeah.
That's the lowest. It brought me back to whenever I was struggling working the smaller paying jobs.
Oh yeah.
That's
Well,
what
that's
that
a
brought
small
back.
paying job,
It
but
definitely is.
you you took that blow so that you could get your C-10 license.
I use that as
You took,
motivation.
yeah, yep,
I did. I told my wife I need to motivate myself in other areas, that this is one of my motivations that I'm going to do it.
yeah,
I'm not working, and I know I'm making a little bit of money, but I also know I have all my knowledge in my head that I could be making a lot of money. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm going to wait patiently because that's going to come. You know, my time.
yeah. All right. So let me ask you the final question, man. This is the final question of the interview. Let's say you've been doing electrical for a while, right? And let's say you invent this new piece of electrical equipment, right? A new way to have a transformer or something. I don't know. You have this great idea. You got go down to the patent office and can't see the guy on the other side, but you got your information. You say, "Hey, here's my patent," and you slide it to him. You start seeing the guy taking pictures, right? And he's taking pictures. He wants to steal your patent, and you're like, "What the heck? Is this guy trying to steal my patent?" So you confront him, and the guy gets pissed off. He gets pissed off, and he comes out of the little door back around to the side that you're on. He walks out, and it's Albert Einstein. I don't know if you know this about Albert Einstein. He used to work in a patent office, right? He's trying to steal your invention. I mean, steal your invention. You caught him. He's pissed. He rolls up his sleeves. He wants to fight. Who's going to win in a one-on-one bare knuckle fight? You or Albert Einstein? It's a very important question.
Oh man, that's uh that's one of those that, I mean, it won't even be a bare knuckle fight.
What are you going to hit him with the chair? Pull your gun out.
It's more protecting the paper,
Protect your pet. Protect your baby.
more protecting the baby. It's more. This is my invention, and you can hit me all you want. You ain't gonna see it.
That's right. And this is young Albert Einstein. Be aware. This isn't old, funny Albert Einstein. This is young, from the streets, dropped out of school at 12 years old, Albert Einstein. Are you
This is
gonna
one of
win?
those things that I'm gonna protect.
You're gonna use that flipping those mixed martial arts?
I'm gonna protect it. I'll probably do a roundhouse kick.
Roundhouse kick. Roundhouse kick Albert Einstein.
I'll probably fall along the way.
But you'll get him. Heck yeah, protect that patent. That's funny. I don't remember. I think it was it the Animaniacs? You ever watch Animaniacs?
Maniacs.
Yeah.
I've only watched it once. My brothers used to
Oh,
watch it
dude.
on
I think it was on there where they had Albert Einstein work at the patent office, like stealing people's patents.
there.
But I think it was that show. I can't remember, dude. It was funny though, but that's what gave me the idea. Yeah, I don't know if you listen to the podcast, but every interview I do, I try to pair somebody up with a somebody. Well, I guess I don't know. Is Albert Einstein's not an electrician? He worked with electricity and stuff. I guess I don't know. He was smart. I try to pair somebody up with some electrician in history and see who'll win in a fight. And so far, everybody said they win. I'm waiting for the one guy that's like, no, he'll knock me out. I can't
he
fight.
he will knock me out, but he also won't get my my
He get my patent. That's right. That's cool. All right, so we're gonna end here, dude. Ruben Corona, I appreciate you, man. It's an encouragement to see you pursuing your dreams and your goals, and I just wish you the best success in that with your career, with your family, with your business, with the next steps. And dude, you encouraged me. I really believe that your story is going to encourage other people. So I'm going to be posting this on Instagram too, some clips from this, pump some people up. So with that said, bro, I appreciate you, man. I'm gonna let you go, and hopefully we'll be able to do this again in the future, and you can just share all your
Oh,
tips and tricks
most
for being a
definitely.
contractor,
Yeah,
right?
no, most definitely. I would like to share, in the future, we'll get another podcast going where I'm open for a year and I'll share my experience in that first year.
That's when I'm gonna be following you on
To
Instagram.
let
Like, give me
everybody
some tips
know,
and tricks.
yeah, how I got going, where I'm at, and I'm looking forward to seeing where I'm at in a year. I keep saying that, and I've been repeating that for the last 2 weeks. I
Heck
can't
yeah.
wait to be where I'm at, and I can't wait to see where I'm at in a year.
I've been repeating that for the last 10 years. I'm still waiting to see. No, I'm just playing. Still waiting for that year to go by. No,
It's actually been hitting me that I'm a contractor now, so.
that's right, bro. You gotta go tell your wife, hey, you're married to a contractor now. Um, if people want to follow you and kind of track with your journey, where could they follow you at?
So I'm on Instagram. I'll give you guys my exact username.
And I'll post it too on the show
Okay.
notes or
So
wherever
I'm under
everybody's at.
Corona underscore electric 559, and I'm out of Tulare County. Pretty soon I'll have business cards and all that stuff out there for the ones that are in Tulare County. And, again, if anybody has any questions, they could feel free to reach out. I'll answer to the best of my ability. And, if it's something I don't know, we'll both go learn together to one of the upperclassmen that, like one of the OGs. Go to Rudy, go to Serge, go to
Electrician.
Steve, go to even Ruben. Ruben's another one I started reaching out to. So there's just a lot of resources out there that it makes the trade a lot better, and even
Heck
even
yeah.
when you have a certain situation at your current job, you're able to share with others, and others give you the input of, hey, you should maybe change this or change that, and that's always a plus right there.
Heck yeah. Well, thank you, bro, again. Really appreciate you, man. You have a good one, and I look forward to chatting with you again later.
Thank you, bro. You have a good rest of
All
the day.
right. You too.
Thank
Peace.
you.